CW premiere of the spinoff of Black Lightning. Was it Painkiller? My initial thoughts, the CGI. I mean, it was TV. I guess Disney Plus has spoiled me as far as the CGI goes. So just seeing the CGI was kind of like painful. It's painful. They tried to do this futuristic Wakandan city uh, in the initial, beginning of the show as the two characters from Black Lightning was Anessa and I forgot the other chick's name, but they're coming on their own vacation. They're on their honeymoon, which is kind of messed up because they never really had a honeymoon. Like the girl, something happens, of course, and it turns into a terrorist slash rescue, you know, episode just to show off the action set pieces of Jaleel, the main character, aka Painkiller, and the direction they went. Like, I don't. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. It's like I mean, it's the first. It's the first episode. I don't know if it was greenlit for a full season or not, but it seems to me that they're trying to do Angel from the WB, Joss Whedon's Angel, where the main character, Angel, was a vampire with a soul. He was in remorse for all the wrong he's done over the centuries, and he was trying to make up for it. And of course, he had a dual personality where he had a soul side, which was Angel, which was the good side, with all the vampire strength and vampire power, whatever. And then you had Angelus, which was the soulless entity. When he didn't have a soul, he was completely evil, and he didn't, care, about humanity, essentially. And they're doing the same thing in this show, where Jaleel has his good side, it's Jaleel, then he has the bad side, which is Painkiller. But Jaleel has all of Painkiller's abilities, and then when he switches over to Painkiller, I guess he's using all his strength. Like, I guess Jaleel holds back, whereas Painkiller has no chill. And they even change his voice. Like, it's so they change, they go the extra to differentiate between the two personas, and they change his voice, and it's just like you're doing too much. It's just you're doing too much. You're doing too much to make this. I mean, he was already a sympathetic character. I mean, a lot has happened. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen the show at all, but he was already a sympathetic character as far as everything that's happened to him, and they're just really pouring it on. Like, please, you need to watch this character's redemption story, and it's like, no, I just don't see this. I just don't see him being able to carry an entire show on his back. And then the extra the extra part of it is they canceled Black Lightning for this show. So you have an established show, Black Lightning. They even added Black Lightning officially into the Arrow team up roster, and only to cancel the show a year later. Like, I don't get it. And then they have this contained, futuristic, Wakandan city, or more real world is more of the Akon city that Akon's building, and that's building right now. That's completely run by tech. Futuristic. Most of the transactions are run through Bitcoin. They got self-driving taxis and all this stuff, and it's like, it's cool. You know, it's cool, but the idea is there. It just seems rushed and it seems borrowed. I don't want to say plagiarized, but it just seems they just borrowed a lot of ideas from a lot of shows, a lot of movies. There's a Matrix reference in there. You know, you got the dual personality, you know, the schizophrenic dual personality. I mean, if they want to focus more on the mental schizophrenic and have a, you know, a conversation about that, just schizophrenia, PTSD, fragmented realities, and coping, you know, that's one thing. But to I know it's a fantasy show and superheroes and whatever, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe I need to read the source material. It's just, I'm just not feeling this. It's just like, yo, it's like, you know, you got the dude. He left the main show for, you know, because he was tired of fighting, and then you're gonna put him in his own show, and then walk back that I'm tired of fighting. I'm gonna start fighting for the right reason. I'm like, if you're gonna do that, you should just stay on the main show. But then they do the caveat of, well, I left to protect the Pierce family, which I understand that. But still, it's not. I hope the writing can save the show. I hope they have some really good writers. And I didn't see enough of the show. Like, I didn't see enough of the. I saw the whole episode, but I didn't see enough of, like, the episode. Basically, the set pieces took place in a bar. The villain's lair, which was destroyed at the end of the episode. You really didn't see too much of the city, the people who were in the city, the demographics or whatever. You know, he has this little crew already. You know, he's not building his crew. It's just, you come into it and it's like, yeah, I already have my tech guy. You know, I got my healer. You know, I'm tanking DPS. Like, it's like, yeah, it's already established. Like, he's more or less already established, and now he has a mission, and he's going to go to try to heal himself by ridding himself of his fractured mind. And again, as far as I know, a schizophrenic person doesn't develop an entirely different voice and movements. Maybe, you know, I'm not a psych major, so maybe it's a thing, and maybe someone can correct me. I'm just not feeling it. You know, I was never really a fan of the show, of this guy, of the character on the main show, but, you know, when he went through what he went through, you know, he kind of sort of grew on me. I forgave a lot of stuff, but then they just went, you know, when they brought him back and gave him all these powers, you know, did all this extra stuff, it was like, okay. And then they dismissed him, like, okay, I'm gonna leave because, you know, whatever. You know, I just thought he was just gonna be one of those characters where he would come and he would go, he would come and he would go, and da da da, and he would be an anti-hero type of character. But now they're trying to make it to where he's anti-hero and he's hero all in one. You know, he's gonna be the pacifist. I'm trying to be the better person, and then he can just, you know, flip the switch in his brain, and they tag in and tag out to his I don't take no scruff from anybody, you know, persona. You know, and if I'm not mistaken, that the Painkiller persona enjoys hurting people. You know, so it's like, how do you? He enjoys hurting people, and then he feels remorse. He feels remorse about his actions, like he can't help himself. But then you have the good side, Khalil, that's just, no, it's okay. You know, we need to forgive ourselves. We need to, you know, grow and build, and you know what I'm saying. It's just the show itself is becoming schizophrenic because the main character is schizophrenic. and he had a love interest on the main show, and then I guess on this show he has to have a love interest, to keep the female audience. So they're, forcing in the pilot, they're forcing a love interest with this other character that's identical to the girl on the main show. Well, she was identical to the girl on the main show. So it's just, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I don't see between special effects. I know it's a year one show, so special effects aren't really gonna be there. But CW has the ability to have good, CGI, because you look at Superman and Lois, and the CGI isn't terrible. Supergirl's CGI isn't terrible. This show, even Black Lightning CGI isn't that bad. Flash's CGI is not that bad. This show, maybe it was just that one scene with the car, and it just threw me off, because I'm just sitting here like, damn, they really trying to do Black Panther. They're really trying to do a Wakandan type city, but I'm pretty sure even though the main villain is black, it's not gonna be a black city. It's gonna be a very melting pot. If it's a tech city, it should be a very mixed demographic. It should be a mixed demographic. So you can't really call it, even though they're black leads or whatever, like Batwoman. It's a black lead. It's not necessarily a black show. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying I'm trying to understand the logic of you're canceling Black Lightning. The nuclear black family, very positive, very positive. You know what I'm saying? For this show, which is this schizophrenic black young black man, who's trying to redeem himself for all the wrong he's done as a puppet of the villainous government entity in Black Lightning. And it's like, okay, well, on paper that premise sounds decent. That premise sounds like it'd be worth my time and my attention. But you watch the first episode, and it's like, this is on her honeymoon. They don't even mention she's on her honeymoon. She gets there, and she's a hero herself. Like, Nissa's OP. Well, I won't say she's OP, but she's powerful. And they immediately take her out within the first 10, 15, basically the first what part of the show, about 10, 15 minutes. They arrive with no introduction. Like, if you're completely new to the show, completely new to the characters, you don't know who this woman is, you don't know why they're there, they show up, they don't really introduce them, they say you're a hero, you're thunder, blah blah blah, but they don't really allow her to show her abilities, like her ability to fight, to take down the bad guy, to protect her girlfriend, protect herself. Like, he takes her out, he surprises her, takes her out in a matter of seconds, almost kills her, immobilizes her for the entirety of the show. So it kind of sets him up as being OP, because she's no pushover, right? Then they heal her through the course of the episode, allowing him, to go and do what she should be doing, which is looking for her girlfriend. And the girl frees herself, right? Damsel in distress frees herself. And they almost come to blows, because she recognizes him as, Painkiller. Like, hey, you're one of the villains. Wait a minute, you're not the good one, you're the bad one. Like, it's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. And then she runs, saves herself. So this whole arc, this whole first mission is like a wash, because he caused the problem, and then he fixed the problem. Well, no, he caused the problem, and it's reason to believe that she would have, saved herself even if he hadn't shown up. The best, he was a distraction. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what. And if they go the Batwoman route with all the social justice warrior stuff, the plight of the black man and stuff like that. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be talked about. It shouldn't be discussed. But at the same time, I don't want it shoved down my throat and in my face. It's bad enough it's on the news. I don't want it in my face 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watch it on the news, and I'll have to watch it in my entertainment, and you're constantly reminded of it. And I understand, like, hey, we're trying to bring awareness. It's a hot topic right now. People are interested in this thing. But you don't want to oversaturate the message to the point that people get complacent because they're tired of looking at it. Marvel does a really good job of balancing it out as far as you tell the story, you sprinkle the issues into the story, and then you move on, and it's all organic and it's easier to digest as far as and then you have like DC shows, the CW shows that tend to really shove it in you over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference, So there's one way, you go out to dinner, you go to a movie, you have some wine, you're relaxed, you talk about it, you come to an accord, and you move on. Then you just, and then the other part of it is, the bad example, is, you tell somebody what you want, and then you force them to abide by your rules, type of deal. That's that's the difference between CW and Marvel. Like, Marvel, they wine you, they dine you, they make you feel comfortable, and then they present you with, hey, by the way, here's some issues that are worth looking at. Whereas the CW sits you down, slaps you a couple times, shines a light in your face, and makes you look at the issues over and over and over again until you're like, okay, all right, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's a good cop, bad cop type of deal. And like I said, man, it's like, I don't want to spoil nothing. The shows are what, an hour long. It's an hour-long show. It's a spin-off to Black Lightning. Black Lightning, I didn't like Black Lightning at first. I thought it was corny, but it grew on me. By the second season, it grew on me. It was like, okay, this is actually a pretty decent show. And now that, and then he got the hat tip from Flash and Arrow. He's officially part of the Arrowverse, and then the next year you take that away. Like, the whole team, like that, Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, and Legends was the team for the crossovers. They would rotate the Legends members out as far as whatever crossover was happening. Now it's like completely, the team doesn't exist anymore. You got Kate Kane's like gone, so Batwoman's not a part of the team anymore. Black Lightning, is gonna be off the team. Supergirl's gonna be off the team. You can't really put Superman on that team because he's a Justice League member. You know what I'm saying? He's off in his own little corner. He's at the big kids table. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing his own thing, or he's on sabbatical. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who you got? You just got Flash and maybe the Legends, and I don't know if Legends got renewed for another season or not. So it's like, so is it gonna be Flash rolling the Flash crew with the Legends doing anything? Or are they just gonna bring, Kara and all them back for like whatever big, CW team up they're gonna have that year? Or maybe, since Crisis is over with, there ain't gonna be no more team ups. You know what I'm saying? I heard a rumor they were trying to bring, all the I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot the actor's name, but they're trying to bring back Oliver Queen for something, whether it's cameo, or I don't know if they're gonna do something with his new persona, the Time Lord person or whatever, the Reality Lord, whatever he is, the Spirit, whatever he is, or they're trying to like have a new Green Arrow. You know, if anything, if they're gonna do a Green Arrow spinoff, they should have did like a Speedy spinoff, like the Red Arrow. You know, because the dude that was the Red Arrow was actually pretty good. They could have did a spinoff with him. You know, and just had the Flash be his mentor instead of doing Green Arrow and the Canaries, which honestly didn't make any sense. That's probably why it didn't get picked up. So I don't know. The CW had a good thing going, and now it's in. I know life is about change, but just like that was a pretty big corner of my entertainment. The CW, yeah, Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, and Supergirl was the weaker of the shows, and Legends, which was my guilty pleasure. And then you have your crossover, and then it would end, and then you would start over the next season. Now it's like, okay, you lost the Green Arrow, you had Flash, so you were going to have Flash, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Supergirl, and the Legends. It was unclear as if they were going to renew Legends or not. It's like every year Legends is on the chopping block, and they just let it slide, It's like the redhead stepchild. It's like you don't like it's like the show is about rebels, and the show itself is a rebel. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's constantly on the chopping block. Well, we want to get this show off the air, but we can't afford to take it off the air because there's nothing to replace it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beloved show. It's like I don't want to say it's on the level of like Firefly, but it's basically it's kind of like Firefly, to where it's a beloved show. It's like not the best show. It's not the best writing, but you can tell that the people that are a part of that show, the writers, the actors, their direction, everything, that's their baby. They care about their show. They have fun, and it shows. And then you have shows like Batwoman that everything is forced, and you almost feel like the writers are chained to their desks, and that's why they keep pumping out horrible fucking scripts every fucking week, and Batwoman's hard to fucking watch, but you want to watch it because if they do happen to have a fucking, cameo or a crossover or a team up, you want to know what's going on. You want to know the whole story, and that's how an extended universe is supposed to work. Every story leads into the overarching story, whatever's going on. And maybe the plan is just to take a break from the crossovers and the team ups. Just having smaller team ups. Like one year it's gonna be Flash and Batwoman, next year it's gonna be Flash and someone else, and next year it's gonna be Flash and whoever, whatever else, or they might not even have Grant fucking do anything. He might just be Batwoman and Supergirl. It's supposed to be Batwoman and Supergirl, but of course Kate Kane is gone, so so that's out the window. And then who the Legend's gonna team up with? Are they gonna team up with Painkiller, Black Lightning? What's how's it gonna work from here on out? Like I said, I'm kind of upset. Like I'm kind of disappointed with CW. They have Stargirl, and it's unclear to where Stargirl, because Stargirl was originally supposed to be a DC Universe or HBO Max show, so they had the budget for like an HBO show. Like the CGI, the graphics, everything looked good. The story was good. The actors were good. Like the storyline was good. And how is that gonna fit in? Because I believe Stargirl takes place on an alternate world, or alternate Earth, or something like that. So she's not even supposed to be a part of the main, CW universe, which is kind of sad because you have Crisis to collapse all the Earths into the main, just the one Earth, But then, for whatever reason, you have other Earths popping up. So, you have Titans on one Earth, you have Stargirl on another Earth, you have CW on the main Earth. And then it's supposed to have been, the point of Crisis was supposed to collapse all that into like one Earth. So, and Stargirl again was on HBO, but they moving it to CW. So, is the quality going to be the same? Are the writers going to be the same? Are you going to get the same energy, in the second season as you got in the first season? It's a whole lot of question marks, because usually a show is good, doesn't really start getting good to the second season. Like the first season, they're afraid to take risks. They're afraid to really, everything is like, we're gonna have this, basic generic, hero's journey. And then once the hero's journey is established and the show's picked up for a second and third season, then we can go off and do, what we want to do. Like with Angel. Like when Angel first started, it was I think it was the first, if I'm not mistaken, Angel was the first spinoff ever on syndicated television. And it was unclear if it would be successful or not, right? So you have the first season was kind of boring. It was a monster of the week. There was kind of sort of overarching story. Like he had the main problem he was dealing with over the course of the season. And then all the episodes were basically a monster a week. The last little 2-3 minutes of each episode in Angel season 1 was like adding to the overall story of, hey, we have this issue with this law firm. We need to figure out how to, put them out of business. So I can, be a good, Samaritan, get my soul back and go to heaven type of deal. And every episode, even though it wasn't a part of that main problem, was a monster of the week, it was still character development for Angel and his crew. And then you got to the end of the last episode of the first season, and it's like, okay, we got picked up for the second season. Okay, bet we're gonna go in now. Now we're gonna go in. You know what I'm saying? Angel started doing all kinds of stuff, going to different dimensions, meeting different people. They addressed everything from, the what do you call it, the alphabet community to race to sexism to just good and evil, existentialism, like everything. Like, that's how show. That's what makes a good show. That's the writing. Being able to put those thoughts, those ideas on paper, and then transfer those thoughts and ideas into moving pictures. That's what makes good television. The emotion, the feeling. The way, if you can identify with it. When you just throw a bunch of familiarity on the screen, like, hey, remember this? He said this in the Matrix. Oh yeah, he's cool because he knows about pop culture, or he's like me because he likes guns, or he's a badass martial arts fighter. Which the fight choreography is a lot of cutaways. Like I can tell he does a lot of his stunts, even in Black Lightning. He was doing some stuff. Like the kid can work. I'm talking about Jaleel. The kid can put in work, but it's almost they were afraid to let him do his thing. And then he had a katana, a very cheap katana at that, and he's twirling it and flipping it and doing some stuff. And they did a cutaway because I guess they wanted him to swirl it and flip it and stick it in somebody a certain way, and it just didn't look right. It looked really cheesy and fake, and just like, come on, man, you didn't need to do all that. This isn't the 1990s Highlander series. You didn't need the sword twirling. You know, you can just, you know, twirl it in the midst of the fighting. You can do your thing, but to twirl it behind you know, behind your back, not looking at it like it's a baton. I mean, that's not how sword fighting works. You know, you need to. And I know you don't have the budget to send them to fucking Iedo, you know, an Iedo course to learn how to the sword fight, or wushu, or any martial arts discipline that involves sword fighting, or keep it limited, because Painkiller mostly use, you know, short knives and daggers in the main show. Like I said, I don't know nothing about the source material, but he used mostly daggers. Just let him use a dagger. He doesn't need to use a long sword. You know, just, you know, stick to your strengths and what you know. You know, it's really easy to learn some Filipino knife fighting to make it look cool on screen. You can do all that fancy wrist twirling Steven Seagal stuff, you know, and make it look cool. This fucking slapbox martial arts that, you know, Steven Seagal was famous for. You know, so you can do that. It's cool. But as far as, you know, Painkiller's series story, it's not catching me. It's like, okay, he's on a redemption arc. You know, he's trying to redeem himself. He's trying to repair his fractured mind. You know, he's gonna do it with computers. He's gonna do it with tech and technology instead of the spiritual, metaphysical nature of, you know, self-help and self-repair. And if you watch the Black Lightning, the main show, you know what happened to him, and it's like, does he even have a soul anymore? You know, is the question that I was curious about. Okay, he's back. Does he have a soul? Like, is he a computer? Is he a man? What is he? What is he? Those are the questions they need to answer. What is Painkiller? First, is he a man? Is he a machine? Is he a cyborg, a robot? Is he a fucking Terminator? You know, does he have a soul? Is it just is the only thing that's living is his brain? That would make sense to as to why they're trying to repair his fractured psyche with tech. Because if he's mostly tech, if he's mostly a bioengineered organism that doesn't have a soul, because what happened to him in the first, you know, in Black Lightning, that's interesting. That's an interesting story beat that, you know, people will want to follow. Like, okay, because, you know, you have what was that movement to where, you know, people want to upload their consciousness to computers to be immortal, essentially, like Altered Carbon, or oh my god, what was Transcendence with Johnny Depp? You know, that's an interesting story beat. You know, I think people would tune in for that. You know, but to have him to be like, oh, I want to repair my brain, and we need these computers to do it, and there are a lot of people like me with their consciousness, you know, plugged into laptops, and they're mining Bitcoin and doing all this stuff. You know, it's like, okay, y'all need to, I know it's a pilot, but y'all doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why, like I said, I don't know, I guess maybe some things happened on Black Lightning and they're just canceling the show for that. So that they needed another black show, a black-led show to replace it. So they came up with Painkiller. They just pulled Painkiller out there. You know, their undercarriage, and they could have just went with, you know, Lightning and Thunder, you know, or Thunder. You know, Thunder has her own life going on right now. She just got married. She has they could essentially do Black Lightning with just Thunder. You know what I'm saying? They could keep the main cast to get rid of who they need to get rid of. You know, have them moved, or have them move to a whole another city and just start over. You know what I'm saying? They could have did that, but I don't know. I don't get the direction that CW is taking with some of these shows, man. I really don't. Like, Superman and Lois is good. It was I was worried about it, you know, but, you know, it's all right. It's not the best, but it's better than what we've been having over since Crisis. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, it's almost like Crisis. They should just ended all the shows and just started over. Started over with a whole nother Flash, Batwoman, Arrow. Just completely started over. That's almost how I feel. That's how I feel about it. Like they should just start it over. If everything was gonna get this crappy after Crisis, they should either postpone Crisis or just ended everything and just started over with entirely new heroes, new shows, new characters, new actors, whatever, and just had them old characters cameo like they did with Constantine. He needs his own show. He needs his season 3, man. They need to go back and do Constantine season 3. Season 3, 4, and 5, man. Constantine deserves his own show. That dude's good. He's getting old, man. I love to see him continue to be Constantine. And, but he's stuck on Legends. It's like, well, you're a fan favorite, so, we're just going to keep you here, for the fans. But, we're not going to give you your own show. But... those are my thoughts about Painkiller. It's like I didn't want to spoil it for you in case you wanted to watch it, but like I said, they did a lot of the Matrix thing. The CGI threw me off a little bit. The choreography was not that great. I mean, the kid can. I know he got some moves, man. I know he can do some stuff, and it's almost like I could tell that the direction, his direction as far as doing those scenes, it was like, we want you to shock and awe, and you know what I'm saying. He's just doing too much. Like they had him doing too much. I liked how the choreography in the Black Lightning was like very, they toned it down, but it's like sauce. It's like less is more sometimes, or less is just the right amount. You want to get the point across that these characters can handle themselves, and but sometimes all that flippy showboaty stuff, you're more of a gymnast than a fighter. You come off as, I don't know, just fake. It just comes off as fake. Like the thing that Netflix, Marvel does, like they keep all the action very grounded. Like it's very people getting thrown through pillars and walls, and when people get hit, they get hit, and when stuff gets broken, it gets broken, and gums are bleeding, and you can see the struggle. The Painkiller is like, you don't really, you see him struggle, you see him take some hits, take some shots or whatever, and then he immediately shakes it off and does his flippy thing again. It's like, doing all this flipping, it's like, does that really hurt? Like, y'all need to, with Arrow, Arrow trained a lot. He was constantly working out. Even Angel was, doing something. Even though he's a vampire, he was still, punching the bag, or, he would take damage, but he's a vampire, so, it wasn't a lot of fighting involved. I mean, it was fighting involved, but he's a vampire, so it's just like he didn't have to do all this flippy stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just, when you watch the Angel fight, it's like that's how he fought. He was punch, kick, very basic. You know what I'm saying? You grab a guy, you push him through a building, or push him through a window, you fall on him, and it's a struggle there. You fall on that fight, he's struggling. The Painkiller is like, he's in a room with 20 people, and you just know that those people are dead. You don't really fear for this character, and then because of what happened to him in Black Lightning, you even wonder, it's like, can he be killed? Can he be hurt? What happens when he takes damage? Is there a cost to him taking damage? Other than his psyche and how he's gonna feel about it. He's I'm sorry I killed all these people, but I enjoyed it. But they're in my way. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you're on a redemption arc, but you're still killing people. Angel didn't like killing people, even though he was a vampire. Like I said, the show is schizophrenic. Like, he's schizophrenic, the show is schizophrenic. They don't know what they want to do. maybe you need to consult some schizophrenic experts and be like, hey, how would a schizophrenic person feel about if he's guilty about this? How would he feel? How would he handle this situation? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much. I don't know. I just saw I just watched it, and I need to see another episode to know if I'm gonna enjoy it or not. Like, I wasn't really a big fan of the character. He was starting to become sympathetic on the main show, and then they took him off the main show and then gave him his own show immediately. I was like, yeah, I mean, as far as the drama aspect of it, like, I get it. He's a decent actor. He's sympathetic. I feel for him. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him progress and get his redemption. But as far as the way he's going about it, I don't agree with it, because it just seems like it's out of character or contradictory to his mission. And when you have an established show that has an established mission, or it should at least have an established mission, I mean, everything has to be in line to a degree, and it's just like the show is just schizophrenic to me. Those are my thoughts on it. Sorry about, I suck at these video reviews, so we'll work on it.